And I see now why there's so much hatred against me, directed towards me.
Right.
Because when I see how this has been orchestrated effort by men worldwide of all races, and their religious beliefs teach them, just like the Indian man lived here in Atlanta, Georgia. He just went to prison earlier this year. They found out 8 years ago his son, they had a store down in Alabama somewhere. He fell in love with a black girl they hired to work in the store. He snuck and moved up to Atlanta because he didn't want the daddy to know he was married to a black woman. And when he found out, he got some black people, black men that worked for him in the store, paid him to come up to Atlanta and had some little girls with him, knock on the door, got her outside and killed the black girl, and she had like a 3 or 4 month old baby. And he says because she was black. And I guess they don't want to acknowledge they got black in them.
Right.
So that's where they came from. They just have
They religions. Hinduism teach you that the black people are the untouchables, the outcasts. In Islam, we are permanent slaves. In Islam, they teach you the woman already ain't no good, but if she a black woman, she not even human. So it was all right to enslave her and rape her and all that. But I just wanted to, I want to continue to listen. I don't want to take up too much of your show. I just want to tell you, to reiterate to you that hell yeah, they going to try to shut you down, shut your websites down, shut your blog talk down, because Oprah, Beyonce, and the rest of them, they not dealing with this. They not dealing with, our gender side, the fact that we're being annihilated through our sexuality, through white supremacy. Ain't nobody dealing with that except for Alexyss Tylor, and you've made me stand strong and to teach my daughter and my mama. Dig that. Dig that. Vagina power. So I salute you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to see 631. Are you on the line? I'm sorry. Did I talk to you already, or did you want to say something? 631.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Alexyss. Hi.
Hey.
I just want to say that I'm one of those women who was in the same kind of relationship all my life with my mother until she passed away in 2000.
Wow.
And I have 2 daughters now, and it's such a struggle. Everything that you explained, everything about the way the mother treats the daughter, calling her slut. My mother was calling me a slut when I was still a virgin. I was 15, and she was still, calling me names from the time I was younger until I was grown and had kids and moved out.
Mm-hmm.
She has some real serious issues, but I've come to find out that she couldn't give me something that she couldn't give herself.
Mm-hmm.
She, her father, my grandfather and grandmother, they divorced, and when they divorced, my mother used to go see my father, and his new wife would turn my mother away and would chase her and my sister and my aunts away with a machete.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he never had anything to do with my mother, so she was abandoned. And one of my other aunts passed away, my mom's sister, and he didn't even come to her funeral. He didn't even show up to my mother's funeral. And the alcoholism, the abuse, all that stuff is just mixed up in one crazy situation, and she just was not capable of doing anything, and everything in her life centered around a man.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. My mother was a registered nurse. She ran a clinic, a teen clinic in Brooklyn, and when she would be at work, she would deal with these teenagers so nicely. Everybody loved her. She got a lot of respect, but at home she wasn't the same person.
Mm-hmm.
She was a very, very, very pretty woman, long hair, light skin, very slim. She had 7 children and had a shape out of this world, and people just looked at her like, oh, Miss Joyce, you're just so pretty, you're this, you're that, and all this. And at home, she was doing drugs. She was drinking. She eventually, out of respect, because the staff had respect for her, they asked her to take a leave of absence because she was going to work with alcohol on her breath. But she was doing a whole lot more than that, too. I found crack vials in the house, and she was still operating as a nurse in this clinic until it was all over. And when they asked her to step down, and they chose not, they told her she can get some help. They wouldn't, put her on blast or anything. And from that point is when she really went down. She really, really went down. Now, I'm the oldest child. She has 6 daughters. My youngest, her youngest child was a boy. And from the time that I left the house, now, I was the one, when I was a teenager, going to school, doing the right thing, she could never find any kind of way to tell me that I was doing well in school when I was. I got so many awards, and when she would come to the school with me to get awards, she never praised me, not one time. When a spelling bee, I got my love from other teachers who kind of knew what was going on. They could see it, that there was a lack of so many things in my household.
Yes.
And this lasted until the day my mother died. There was a period of 3 years when I couldn't even step in the house because when I became an adult, I said, I refuse. And when I had my own children, I said, I refuse to go back into her house and she's going to treat me like crap. But the pain, even though it's been a long time, the pain is still there, and I still have to struggle with, now my oldest daughter is 9 years old, and I have to still struggle with the way that I talk to her. I love her so much, and I find that sometimes I'm angry, and I may deal with her in a certain way that I probably shouldn't, and talk to her a certain way, and sometimes I don't want to be bothered. She's getting older now, and oh boy, it's kind of hard to, even though you know what was done wrong, it's kind of hard to make it right in my own life with my child.
Now, how old is your daughter?
My older daughter's 9.
Is that the one that you say you're feeling kind of the difficulty with sometimes dealing with, or is it both of them?
No, just her. My 4-year-old, I'm not having those issues with her. I'm having them with my 9-year-old, and she's very, very vocal, and she always tends to want to tell me if she feels like I'm doing something wrong or I'm saying something wrong to her. She just comes back and she keeps telling me, and then I can't take it, and I don't want to get to the point to where I'm acting just like my mother, but sometimes I feel like I am.
But see, that's what I want to ask you about, because I had to go through that when I had so much abuse stuff inside of me, and then I had my son, and then I was left, and I had to deal with the man drama, and then on top of that, my mother drama, and just feeling like shit, and feeling so awful about myself and my life, and feel like a failure and a loser. All the negative things I could feel, I felt that, and it's like it was easier for me when my son was little, and he couldn't talk, and it's like as he got older, like I said, got vocal and very active, but sometimes he would do things that really frustrate me, and I would want to hit him like I was hit. And that's why I'm going to ask you this question, because I knew I had to learn how to heal myself, and I had to learn to use self-control. I'm not one of those people that will say, oh, well, my mother dogged me, and your mother dogged you because she was dogged, and she just didn't know no better. Yes, fuck you do. You know better, and I'm speaking from experience because I was abused, and I saw a lot of abuse. And when I got tempted to abuse my child, I really had to catch myself, or I had to get away from him. And I would even tell my son, if you ever feel that I'm doing something abusive to you, dial 911 on my ass, because I don't want you growing up having the same issues I had, fucked all up inside, and you held it and you couldn't tell nobody, and you're angry, so you take it out on your children, or you get in trouble and you take it out on society. What I realized was when I was angry at that child, it really wasn't about the child. It was about some unresolved shit that my inner child had been abused, and I felt like I had not been vindicated, and I got no justice, and I was angered for being abused. So a lot of times you got to look and see what is really pissing you off. Is it the child that is pissing you off? Or then you have to look at the fact, too, that child is being vocal for a reason, and the child is your mirror teaching you a lesson. Now, when your mother did this shit to you, were you as vocal as your daughter towards your mother?
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. So, see, she's a part of you, and she's your seed, and she came out of your womb. And a part of this shit is some karma shit. She's helping you balance yourself. She's punching you in the face